Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. As always, leaving a comment is appreciated, leaving a like is very much appreciated, or subscribing. All these things do help with the algorithm. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. At the moment, I was actually quite surprised when I woke up. I was expecting one thing and I completely got another. It says on the screen, Bitcoin and Ethereum are still range bound. Cosmos and Quant are rallying. We are still at the moment roughly in that $34,000, $35,000, $38,000 Bitcoin price range that we've been in for quite a bit of time right now. However, if you remember, sometime yesterday, Bitcoin's price looked like it was going up and then it ended up falling back down. And now, oddly enough, we are actually moving back up once again in price. There was, or is, a lot of very optimistic price news. And I mean across the board, no matter where I looked, it appears as if nearly every single analyst at the exact same time has come to the exact same conclusion that Bitcoin's price, the wider cryptocurrency market's price, are getting ready to move. They're about to bounce. Something spectacular is about to take place. Bitcoin on-chain analysts can be a very good way, can be a very good way to try to guess where the market is heading. The market tends to repeat itself with metrics looking the same before a bull or a bear rally. There is no bear rally, thus making this data a good indicator of what's to come. Analyst Willy Woo uses the same data to demonstrate a pattern that occurs before a bull rally. In a recent string of tweets, analyst Willy Woo presents data from on-chain analysis, that points out that the Bitcoin dump has reached its bottom. According to him, price in relation to on-chain demand from both speculative and holding strategy or category of investors are now both at peak oversold levels. Wu points out that the last time that something like this happened was when Bitcoin reached its bottom following the crash that was presumably done because of 2 years ago. We had news maybe about 4 or 5 days ago as well that we had reached the bottom of where Bitcoin was going to go, i.e. the rapid fall on some cryptocurrency exchanges to $28,000, $29,000, and then the subsequent pop back up to around $32,000 was basically as low as the price was going to go. We've had oversold news for about over a week, where the people who are basically new to the market have either exhausted the amount of coins that they have and therefore they cannot sell anymore, or institutions who are simply following the trend of the price going down, watching the other players who are selling their coins are also no longer selling and are back in reaccumulation mode. It says Bitcoin setting up for an unexpected bullish impulse, according to a top crypto analyst. This one says Bitcoin's price on track to hit $100,000 soon. Okay, here's why and how. Basically, if Bitcoin's price goes up, other people are going to be buying. Therefore, Bitcoin's price will basically go to where it should have been the entire time. Bullish traders await a bullish surprise move as Bitcoin market sees huge preference for holding. This was all over the place. Like I said, I was quite surprised because I was waking up just kind of expecting to hear that Bitcoin's price was either exactly where it was yesterday, maybe price had even moved a little bit down, because I just assumed that for some reason, regardless of any type of news that we've been getting over the last 5 or 6 months of accumulation, institutions buying the dip, on-chain metrics, the mining hash rate continuing to rise more and more every single day, the amount of people who are getting into the network, the news that we got a day or two ago of now we have over 100 million plus people who are in the Bitcoin market. None of that has seemingly had any effect on Bitcoin's price, so I just assumed prices would have continued to have gone down. But alas, they're currently up at the moment. A lot of the price news for other altcoins was also quite optimistic. It says Ethereum price is marching towards $2,800. Cosmos price surges by 11% in the last 24 hours amid a market rise. The thing that really surprised me the most is that the stock market is actually going down, or is continuing to go down, or that stock markets right now that have already opened or have slightly opened in the red because we have seen for some reason over the last 4 to 5 months, and it's just been around that time frame, there's been a very weird exact correlation to the stock market. Has it broken its trend? Is Bitcoin finally going to start to go up as stocks begin to go down? There are also a number of analysts out there who are now pointing to the fact that we are extremely overdue for a stock market crash. The stock market should not be as high as it currently is. It is only as high as it currently is because markets and governments and money printerers have been pushing trillions of dollars into the markets in an effort to make them seem normal and keep them up during the last 2 years, which has been anything but normal. So there's also a Bitcoin options expiry happening today as well. And if we can push back up further in price as that expires, then we are probably in the clear. So we will see exactly where we end up going on the weekend. It tends to be somewhat of a lull period. Usually sometimes on Sundays we can see a bit of a price movement upward as people get ready for the coming week, what have you. But trying not to cross my fingers or be too optimistic. I know that eventually prices will rise, but for some reason something in the air is causing the market to remain low. Yeah. Let's move on. Next up, Switzerland-based 21 Shares AG, which is considered one of the pioneers in issuing crypto exchange-traded products, has announced that it is listing Aave, Link, and Uniswap exchange-traded products on a Swiss-regulated stock exchange. BX Swiss is a Swiss stock exchange operated by BX Swiss AG. And if you wonder why I keep saying AG for the letters AG, is because in German it's pronounced AG. And therefore, every time I see AG, I know that it has to be pronounced AG. I've seen people in the comment section before asking why I'm saying it this way. It's kind of like GmbH, like GmbH. I can't say it in English because it just sounds kind of ridiculous to my brain. And it is the subject of supervision by the Swiss Financial Market Supervisory Authority, or FINMA. It says ETPs are collateralized, non-interest paying debt securities designed to replicate the performance of an underlying asset. And in the case of 21 Shares' ETPs, its products replicate the performance of things such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Bcash, or the index for the other, wow, those are weird names, HODL 5, Bit 10, and ABBA. Wow. Here is how 21 Shares explains the difference between ETPs and ETFs. Basically, ETFs are the company actually holds the underlying asset. They hold the actual physical Bitcoin, while ETPs are something that mimics the actual price of said thing, but it is issued in the form of debt. So yeah, these things have now been issued on the Swiss stock exchange. We hear quite often that any type of, usually, the Bitcoin and Ethereum physical ETFs that have launched have typically been in Canada, Germany, Switzerland, or one or two other places out there. But now it appears that, of course, if they found success in the other ones, they're going to try and start launching similar things based on other coins on these exchanges as well. These are not ETFs, so they are not physically holding these coins. But if they find some type of success in this, of course, they'll begin to launch this tracker for many other coins as well. So quite cool. I think we're going to see more things like this as long as a number of these coins remain in the top 20-esque for a relatively long amount of time. Because as popular as Bitcoin and Ethereum might be, investors are always looking for the brand new undervalued thing, as if everything is just supposed to be completely undervalued and eventually is going to $1 million. But you understand. Anyway, that's the Aave, Chainlink, and Uniswap in Switzerland news. If you've never been to Switzerland, please go. It's incredibly beautiful, incredibly expensive, but, just go there for like a day or something like that. Anyway, alrighty, let's move on. Also, in something that we don't hear that much about anymore, over $4.5 billion, that is billion with a B, worth of Ethereum has been burned since the implementation of EIP 1559. That was, wow, the 5th of August. It feels very relatively recent. That's kind of weird. According to data from tracking website Watch the Burn, a total of 1.7 million Ether, worth around $4.5 billion, has been burned since last summer, with an average of 307 Ether, worth $800,000 being burned per hour. That is absolutely out of control. And 12,300 worth $32 million being burned per day. For those of you who were not here before, I mean, the entire idea of EIP 1559 was basically nothing more than a pipe dream. Everyone was like, this thing is never going to happen. It's never going to get implemented. And out of nowhere, we got news the upgrade had happened, and we could actually see the metrics of how much Ether was being burned on multiple different websites. But the fact that so much is being $800,000 being burned per hour, imagine sitting inside of a room where you see $800,000 physically being burned every single hour. It's kind of insane to think about. It says per day, Ethereum's net issuance has dropped to around 1,100 Ether, meaning its net reduction is now over 91%. Some analysts have estimated, and it's not even, you don't have to estimate it, it's happening or going to happen, that Ethereum could become a deflationary currency if burn outpaces net issuance, which has occurred on a few blocks. We also had that news, I think, around November and December, where there was so much activity because of DeFi and because of the NFT market that there was more being burned than actually created, and therefore Ethereum became a deflationary asset. As more people are using Ethereum, this is only going to, of course, pick up. But the fact, it's a huge amount of money that's actually being burned by the protocol. This is also another really crazy metric that we actually have numbers for. It's not me simply going, well, they're burning so much, I don't understand. We know every single day and every single minute exactly how much is being burned. These prices, for me, this is how me and my friends discuss where the market currently is. Everything seems so dramatically undervalued right now. I think, once again, as always, a lot of people pay so much attention just to the current price, and they use that as a metric for if it's undervalued to them. Like if Ethereum falls down to 1,500, they go, well, clearly no one's using it because the price continues to fall. But we can see the metrics all over the place. We know exactly how many people are using it, how many people are buying it, how much is being burned per day, when it's deflationary, and all these other things. I'm still waiting for the eventual $10,000 Ether. That still will seem extremely undervalued, as is still the world's most used blockchain, and will probably only continue to be so as we eventually end up getting Ethereum 2.0. Yeah, we used to get this news maybe every other day. It's calmed down a lot since then, but the burn still continues, and it's only probably going to be picking up as time ends up going on. Alrighty, that's the Ethereum is still undervalued news. And yeah, let's move on. Also in the news, which is super surprising even as prices go down, while retail investors remain confused over the recent Bitcoin price volatility, industry giants are silently making big moves. Canada's Purpose Bitcoin ETF has filled its bags by accumulating more than 1,750 Bitcoin over the last 2 days, as per data from Glassnode. Yesterday, the Bitcoin Purpose ETF registered its biggest inflow by accumulating more than 1,000 Bitcoin in a single day. This shows that institutional players have been accumulating the dips, thereby squeezing liquidity from normal people. We have recently also seen that MicroStrategy also just bought more Bitcoin as well, for those of you who forgot that this happened yesterday. MicroStrategy now has 125,000 Bitcoin. Just the company, not a person. The single entity that is the company has 125,000 Bitcoin just to the company. And they've announced before multiple times. They had to do it multiple times last year because for some reason people forget, like goldfish. Now, not only are they not selling their Bitcoin, they only plan on buying more Bitcoin forever and ever, amen, as they have said. So yeah, we have continuously gotten and will continue to get, as Bitcoin's price falls and normal people sell their Bitcoin back onto the market, rich people buying up their Bitcoin news. This is continuously happening. every single day. And once again, these are the players who are announcing that this is actually taking place. Just imagine behind the scenes how many other thousands of companies around the world are doing the exact same thing all the time, every single day. Anyway, that's the rich people continue to buy the dip as everyone else looks around the corner at something else that they should not be paying attention to news. And yeah, let's move on. In, dare I say, the most popular news story of the day, it is officially confirmed that Dogecoin, the meme-based crypto coin, will now migrate from proof of work to proof of stake. It is because proof of stake offers an unmatched advantage over the proof of work model. Sure. It was confirmed by Vitalik Buterin, who said he is helping the Dogecoin Foundation migrate the Doge consensus model to proof of stake. Buterin also pointed out that most major crypto assets are slowly migrating to proof of stake as well. Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin is the main driving force behind Ethereum 2.0's update. The major update aims to migrate from proof of... How many times can you write in 2 paragraphs, proof of work to proof of stake, proof of work to proof of stake, proof of stake, proof of stake, proof of work to proof of stake? We get it. Like, it takes one sentence to actually say that. Who the heck wrote that 35,000 times? The point is... this is the most popular news story of the day. I assume this is not only backed by, but was actually initiated, spoken about, begun by Elon Musk. I'm almost certain about it. For some reason, Elon Musk is absolutely obsessed with Dogecoin. We know the whole story. He also bought a Shiba Inu. He loves the coin. Bark, 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 woof, woof, woof. So I'm going to assume that in his... the word is in tirade. Crusade. Crusade's a better word. In his crusade to try and become a leader in the cryptocurrency space, as he already has berated Bitcoin for being so slow and Bitcoin not being able to be used as rapidly as Dogecoin because it's using proof of work, and him trying to convince the people who are Bitcoin developers to get Bitcoin to move to proof of stake. I know. Yeah, you all forgot about that one, right? Yeah, that happened last year. He has stuck to Dogecoin because the developers from Dogecoin, as far as we know, are bending a lot easier to his will. So in an effort to make Dogecoin, I assume, his currency of choice, as we already have it seen, you can use it to buy Tesla merch. If Dogecoin does move to proof of stake, get ready for an avalanche of Elon Musk doing this with Dogecoin news. I assume he's going to use it for the moon base and also for the Mars base and all these other places out there at the exact same time. This is getting a lot of fanfare because Vitalik Buterin is incredibly popular in the cryptocurrency space. The fact that, listen, it's still taken Ethereum 5 or 6 years to actually move from proof of work to proof of stake. There's no time frame for how long it's going to take Dogecoin, but I don't assume this is happening in a month or maybe even sometime over the course of this year, as it also took Litecoin. What is that? Oh, my head. As it took Litecoin around 2.5 something years to actually get Mimblewimble. So the news is Dogecoin is definitely moving to proof of stake. Everyone will love it so much more when this actually ends up happening because, blockchain, proof of stake, everyone will be able to do this in their own home. Never forget. One of the main problems that Dogecoin actually has is its issuance rate. It takes a day and a half, 36 hours, for the Dogecoin network to create more Dogecoin than there actually are Bitcoin. There are 10,000 Dogecoin created per minute, and the issuance rate is expected to only continue to rise, not decrease, as the years continue to go on. This is one of the major problems with the actual coin, but this is also why Elon Musk loves it. Elon Musk hates the idea of a deflationary currency such as Bitcoin or Ethereum. He loves the idea, or thinks that something that inflates forever is the answer for actual daily usage. I remain highly skeptical as to the idea that in 12 years' time, you're going to be walking into a store and someone goes, "How do you want to pay?" and you announce Dogecoin. It just seems a little weird. But I mean, also look at the last 2 years. No one saw any of this coming. So I mean, in 12 and a half years, you might be going to buy a Maserati in Dogecoin. Who's literally to say? So that's the Dogecoin news. It is officially moving to proof of stake. There's no time frame for this. I assume someone has said something about Q4 of 2022, knowing good and well that they were lying, just trying to put out a day somewhere around there. And yeah, let's move on. Also in relatively popular news, following the recent congestion on Cardano, IOHK has proposed to increase the block size to scale up with the network's capability. Input Output Hong Kong, the research and development company behind the Cardano blockchain, has announced that the network is on track to increase its block size by 11%. Announcing the new update via a tweet on Wednesday, IOHK noted that the proposal would see the total block size grow from the current 72 kilobytes to 80. This development should allow Cardano blocks to carry more transactions. Additionally, IOHK triggered a separate update proposal to increase the amount of data that can be included in a single transaction on the platform. Plutus, per the update, the Plutus script memory unit per transaction will go from 12.5 million to 14 million. This is apparently being done or has been proposed because of the news that we had 2 weeks ago, that the amount of activity on the Cardano blockchain, but this is, once again, this is happening across every single blockchain. This isn't like a Cardano sole issue. That when too many people are using it, it starts slowing down. We've seen this before for Ethereum thousands of times. We've even seen it very recently for the Polygon chain, which is supposed to be one of the end-alls and be the quickest, fastest thing on the Ethereum network. Also was sluggish when 40% of its network was being used by like a farming or I don't know, princess game or something. I don't know exactly what this thing was. So this is also a very large debate. I hope that this gets resolved quickly and easily. There have been discussions before in the past for Bitcoin to increase its block size and its memory pool and yada, 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 to allow more transactions as opposed to the 3 transactions that we have right now. Part of the problem was that people got very, very greedy, announced that they knew a better way to be able to do this. And instead of actually helping to increase Bitcoin's block size or find another way to do it with other chains or side chains, Bitcoin Cash was created. And then when Bitcoin Cash had larger block sizes and they kept on having some problems with their blockchain, somebody else came forward and said, hey, no, we know the actual answer. And then Bitcoin Cash, Satoshi's Vision, was created. And it keeps on going on and on and on. So I hope that the Cardano team can figure out how to do this internally, have people vote on it, and that it ends up getting the yay or the nay without people saying, no, we believe that Cardano should, because you know this is going to happen. This happened for Ethereum as well. This is why we have Ethereum Classic and then Ethereum, because people also had problems and they believe that the original core idea or the original blockchain of Ethereum should be kept intact. And this is why we have Ethereum Classic and now the other Ethereum. So if at some point during this year we hear someone propose a Cardano Classic or a Cardano Original or whatever fancy word they decide to give it at some point, just know that it is a cash grab. And I told you that it was going to happen because this continually happens in the cryptocurrency space. People always just assume that because something is happening to try and improve a network that they can then capitalize on it and make billions of dollars. But the problem is the capitalization ends up working. And you have tons of people who do follow this new terrible project. They put tons of money into it, and then the market ends up going down for it. So don't say I didn't warn ya. Good job, Cardano, for actually making these proposals early, for actually updating their network. And also, you know, remember all the times they kept on saying that people were going to be using their network, and now it's actually being used? Yeah, that takes a lot, because how many other blockchains have we heard before were going to be used and nobody's using them? Alrighty. That's the Cardano news. Let's move on. And to finish things off in why is this news, the Central Bank of Ecuador is planning to issue cryptocurrency specific regulation sometime this year. According to statements from the manager of the Central Bank of Ecuador, this will bring more clarity to the cryptocurrency space in the country and will contribute to preventing crime such as money laundering. Yes, because no one has ever laundered money with physical paper money. Banks never launder money themselves. No one ever launders gold or any other currency. It's definitely only within the cryptocurrency space. So I'm glad that they're finally, addressing this. The Central Bank of Ecuador is planning to prepare and issue cryptocurrency-related regulations this year. The announcement was made by the manager of the central bank in an interview on the 30th of January. When asked about the state of the cryptocurrency regulation in the country and how it seemed lagging compared to other countries, he said the central bank is working on a project to regulate cryptocurrencies, bearing in mind that the monetary code establishes that the dollar is the only legal tender in the country. Absolutely wonderful. You know what really works? Is just by doing something that you should have done a couple of years ago and simply writing on the last paragraph, our currency still remains the only legal tender. Bam, I did it. That's crazy how fast I did it in about 14 and a half seconds. Why it keeps taking countries years to actually have this regulation, and we all know it's just about taxation and money. Like they don't actually care who's using it or what's happening. They want to know where it's going and how much of a cut that they actually get. So I think it would have made so much more news if countries had from the get-go simply just made, had simply just made some type of laws that said, hey, it's legal, we're going to tax it. And as time went on, they, sprinkle in other laws that were applicable. Why this was one of the most popular news stories of the day, I'm getting kind of weirded out. A lot of people who write these articles or who write within the cryptocurrency news space, I'm noticing a very odd trend of gladly talking about when a country is making their own central bank digital currency. A lot of very upbeat articles when they talk about China's central bank digital currency like being adopted. There was one a couple of days ago. Of course, I didn't have it in this video. It was very, very weird. It said something along the lines of like 60 million people in China are now using their central bank digital currency. And it's like, yeah, because people are being forced to do so. You are told this is the new way of transacting within the country. You got to get used to it. You got to start using it. Do you know what happens when people say no to things that the government has said within that country? Oh, you don't know? Watch a documentary. It'll change your life and your perception of everything around you. If you want to regulate something, just simply do it. A lot of countries, and I've lightly golf clap applauded them, have simply just released regulations without even talking about it. Like, why talk, like Russia and India, why talk about this for 5 years? Just release something. We know that you're going to tax it. Just tax it. Let everybody move on with their lives. This was one of the most popular news stories as well. Kind of weird, right? Not the news that corporations and companies have bought hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin in the last 3 days, but that Ecuador might regulate cryptocurrencies sometime this year. What a weird space to be in. The cryptocurrency space is just the oddest thing in the entire world. Alrighty. That's the most exciting news of the day, apparently. Alrighty. Let's move on. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters, Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Darren Davis, How's Life Austin, Jamie Saad, Blockchain Simplified, and let's move on, Chris, Hakeem Wilkins, Empire Queen, Stake It With Valor, FUDWISER, Mortified, Roman, Gaba, Bitcoin, Ben Arachno, Dave, Tony, Ambroski, The Dealer's Den, Red Plum, Tomato, Umnu, Wish Nikki, The Letter M, Not Brain, Captain Something in the Z-Way, Lay Crypto, Black Sheep, AJ Cut 5, Speedix is 5, and Carlos Was Like, Mobarazi, Jojo, Shawshow, VB Nerd 21, Miguel Grolet, Laura De Silva, Quoted Biddy, Bare Bones Mining, Troy Allgood, Space Case, Need a Miracle, Paternoster, Conan, Don't Skip Leg Day, Snacking Chan, Tolik, Banana, Auspicious Agile, and Blockchain, Navarro Williams, David James, Attila the Han, Yasha Harari, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Martin, Storio, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Anima Reader, Bibliophobia, Todd, Mullis, Adam, Graysick, Mohamaroni, Massive Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Cold 3D, Damien, Setsuna, Richard Richard III, Landy, Impaler, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Jim Garner, Jimmy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hish, Jesse Everyday, and Kyle Skips, Leg Day, Yes to Crypto, Body Me, Buttface, Anytime Fitness, Mom's Corner Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigera Machonisa. Am I right? Tigera, yeah, there we go. Tigera Machonisa, On Crypto with Lionel, Crayola Michelle, URL, and Bolero Bastos. Yeah, still remember them, of course. Thank you all very, very much for your continued support. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel. Thank you to everyone who left a like, has commented, left multiple comments, has commented multiple times in the other videos. One of the other videos had, I think, 7 times as many comments as my normal comments. Thank you all very much for that. What was the other part? I don't remember. If you are still here watching the video, type in the word sandbox. It just sounds applicable for some reason. I think because maybe it was the first word I saw as I was scrolling by. I saw sand, and therefore sandbox. At the moment, Bitcoin is currently at $37,963. It is up by 2.65%. Ethereum is up by 6%. Binance Coin is up by 2%. Cardano is up by 2%. Solana is up by 7%. XRP is up by 2%. Luna is up by 5%. Polkadot is up by 4%. It is nice to see the cryptocurrency market in green. We should, of course, at least according to moi, be a lot higher in price. I think these numbers are absolutely laughable. However, if this has been, if you were one of the people who said you wanted prices to go lower so that you could accumulate more, I present the lower prices, because whenever we had, I'm not joking, whenever we had prices around $50,000, $60,000, the amount of comments of people saying, I wish prices were lower, I forgot to buy. You've had 4 to 5 months now of a huge opportunity where you could have been stacking your bags, packing your bags, rolling your bags, accumulating, buying coins out there. So I hope that you've been doing it. Yeah, anything else spectacular? Tron is up by 7%. Ethereum Classic is up by 7%. Hedera Bar is up by 9%. And IOTA, the comeback king, is coin number 49 and is currently up by 9% with $40 million of 24-hour volume. Not a lot at all, and I'm not sure how they're doing it, but you go, IOTA. I really hope that IOTA makes it, make it to the top 40. Because why not? Why not? It's one of the oldest legacy coins that we have that's still around, floating around. And for some reason, it's managing to do a lot more. Imagine how well they would do if they had an actual real trading volume, like how high they would be. Anyway, I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all might potentially have a great day, great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's amazing. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, and or supporting, or all three. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.